everybody? Anthony here, specialtymotorcars.net, and behind me you'll see another beautiful low-mileage Cadillac. I'm pleased to bring you this week, folks. This is a gorgeous 1991 Cadillac Coupe Deville Spring Edition. These cars are, it's crazy how I get so many rear-wheel drive cars through the shop here, and I never really get these, and I've never really experienced these, but I'm glad I got this one because this is a really nice car, super comfortable, and at 30,000 miles, she's an absolutely gorgeous piece. We're going to do a walk-around video. If you're new to the channel, thanks for coming on board here. Consider hitting that subscribe button. We're going to do a walk-around video of the car. Going to show you under the hood, inside, in the trunk, all that good stuff. Show you all the details about it, tell you all about it. Price will be in this video as well. If you have any questions, my phone number will be at the end as well. Let's get into this walk around and show you this beautiful Coupe Deville. And here she is, an absolutely beautiful 1991 Cadillac Coupe Deville Spring Edition. Spring Edition was, just as you would assume it to be, was a special edition that GM brought out in the spring to try, I believe, boost sales on these cars. This car is a really unique car. It's a triple white car with a burgundy dashboard, burgundy carpet, and burgundy lower trim on the door panels. A real classic Cadillac color combination, in my opinion. Probably one of my favorite triple white color combos. You'd see them with triple white with burgundy or black or even blue, like the brougham that I just brought back from Kentucky. But I do love the red. It kind of just gives it that classic kind of lipstick edition, look to it, like the Lincolns had. But so this spring edition, I'll forewarn you, obviously I don't know a whole ton about these front-wheel drive Cadillacs like I do the rear-wheel drive cars. So forgive me if I misspeak, and feel free to correct me in the comments below if I do. I know some facts and things about these cars, but I don't know everything. Like I know more about the rear-wheel drives than these front-wheel drives. But this car came to me by means of a local subscriber. A lot of people ask me, and it's probably a good time for me to say or answer this question, is how do I get all my cars and how do I find them? And one of the ways I do that is by people who find me through my YouTube videos. And in this case, this is a local subscriber who offered this car to me. It was his uncle's car, who had bought it brand new. But unfortunately, his uncle only lived a few years after acquiring this car. The nephew inherited the car and has kept it and cherished it ever since, but hasn't really used it a lot. And especially in the last 20 years, really, hasn't used it much. And is now, facing the reality of, okay, well, let me let somebody else use this and enjoy this car. Because somebody will truly love this car for what it is. And that's my promise to him, was to find somebody who was going to treat this car and love this car as much as he did. This is a gorgeous 30,000 mile car, Cautillion white. It's a classic color, really, for these cars. I absolutely love white Cadillacs. But the cool thing with this is it's a spring edition. Now, they were available in either the Sedan Devilles or the Coupe Devilles. And the spring editions came in, I believe, 3 colors. And again, I might be overreaching there, but triple white, triple blue, and a triple black were all available. And they were kind of trimmed out the same way. ASC did these tops on these cars for Cadillac. They came with these special spring edition wheels, which I believe were also shared on the front-wheel drive Fleetwood cars. They had the gold ornamentation, the monotone door handles versus chrome. And I believe the other thing that with the interior, which we'll see in a little bit, is it has perforated leather seats. I'm not sure if there's any other telltale signs or features, but again, feel free to let me know down in the comments. I know there's probably plenty of people out there who know a lot more about these than I do, including my buddy Big Al, because I believe he actually has a blue spring edition. But anyways, getting back to these cars, I don't know if it was a thing to boost the sales of these and try to push them out the door, or just, really get the excitement going about these smaller front wheel drive cars. But you know what? I haven't had one of these since like the beginning of my channel. And really, I forget how comfortable and how peppy and how exciting this car is to have and drive. I will argue that these are probably one of the most comfortable Cadillac seats made. These front seats in these cars, and it's not just this one. I've sat in other ones, so I know it's not just this specific car, are super, super comfortable. The 4.9 in these are super peppy, real torquey, and just really want to move. So it's really a nice combination of everything. Comfort and get up and go in a slightly smaller package than what I'm used to, but a very gorgeous, very Cadillac approach and look at it. So we're going to go around and show you some of the minor imperfections here and there, which are very, very minor. We'll start up on the front here, and you can see a few little minor little chips right on that front bumper trim there. Glass headlights are in beautiful shape. The corner lights are in beautiful shape. And a common thing with these corner lights, and I've noticed it, is a lot of these delaminate and they lose their reflective shine. I don't know what causes that, but I see it quite often. This car, I think being garaged, absolutely protected it because they are super, super clear and they have their beautiful color and sheen behind there. Even the bumper lights are in really beautiful shape. All the chrome trimming on the bumper. The grille has the gold hood ornament. Very minor, kind of probably hard to see, but very minor delamination, I think, in some like of the gold coating you can see if you get up close there, but the color is really nice. You can take a look at the paint on this car. Is in really nice shape. Like I said, cotillion white, beautiful red painted stripe throughout the car. Has the headlamp monitors, which I really kind of like the way they did it on these. You know, they're kind of like little eye sights as they're a little staggered down the fender there. But chrome trim throughout, absolutely real sharp amount of chrome that they use. Just enough, really, as to not overdo it. 4 brand new tires. When I bought this car, it had the original Michelin XZ4s, I believe they were, which were in dire need of replacement. Wheels are in really nice shape. They have a beautiful shine to them. You know, very minor spots of, you know, just very light corrosion. Looks like a little bit of water from my floor, but very, very nice for a 30-year-old wheel. Come down the door here, and you can see the lower cladding is in real nice shape. No dings or chips on that leading edge of the molding. The mirror is in beautiful shape as well. Front windshield glass, absolutely gorgeous. Top is in beautiful shape. All the stitching, this is a real... You know, this is a real common spot. You start to see this kind of come apart, the stitching here. Beautiful shape throughout on this whole car. The top, you can obviously tell this car was garaged its whole life. And the way that ASC tied it into the original chrome of the rear window, they did such a phenomenal job on these tops. And this is a shell top, so it's vinyl, you know, but there's a fiberglass shell under it to give you that kind of look. You come here, and like I said, you got the monotone door handles. Little itty bitty chip right there. And also, I just noticed this. It looks like a little stress crack right in this chrome, right on the corner there of that chrome window threshold molding. Door edge guards are white. Couple little minor nicks that caught something, obviously doing its job. A little chip right there on the corner, top corner of that door molding. Come down here, you can see absolutely beautiful quarter panel, all the chrome trim. Wheel, again, very, very nice. Very just minor, few minor little spots here and there. Again, another brand new white wall tire. I do know that there's a little chip right there on the door edge for the gas door. On the quarter panel, gold ornamentation. The rear rocker panels or rear, you know, lower rocker panels are in beautiful shape here. I love the taillight treatment on these cars. Very classic Cadillac. Absolutely beautiful. That's truly the classic Cadillac. Now the cool thing is these have like a soft urethane filler, but these don't seem to go bad like the Bromes do. So it's cool that they were able to figure out some material to use that didn't break down, but unfortunately past the prime of when I needed them to figure that out. Rear bumper Got the reflectors. The rear impact strip is in beautiful shape. Beautiful Cadillac gold emblems back here. Again, the painted pinstripe. A little bit of delamination. Again, you can see if you focus in there. Very, very minor on that gold trunk lock flipper. This one's got a little different of a setup than the rear wheel drive cars. Chrome license plate pocket, reverse lights, all in beautiful shape. We'll get closer in on that side as we spin it around. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do right now. Now coming around to the passenger side, you can see she is just as beautiful over here as it is on the driver's side. Now, usually at some point throughout this video, I ramble down a list of things I've done to this the car that I'm showing you. And while I give you the overall of this side, I'm going to ramble down that list. And I might be missing a few things, so I might repeat myself, but I'll start at what I believe was the beginning. When I got this car, it had a need for a new fuel pump. Fuel pump was replaced, fuel sending unit was replaced, gas tank was replaced, fuel filter was replaced as well. All fresh gas, cleaned out the injectors. That got the car started running and driving. After that, we did a new battery, AC Delco battery, replaced the oil pan gasket, the transmission pan gasket, did 2 transmission lines that were leaking, replaced those with new clamps. Alternator was replaced on this car. AC compressor. It was still R12 when I got this car in. As soon as I started pumping it with Freon after I retrofitted it, the AC compressor seized right up. That was not going anywhere. So a brand new AC compressor was professionally installed. I did not do that here. Along with a 134 retrofit. 4 tires were replaced. Original Michelins were still on the car when I got it here. All 4 Delco Gold Bose or Delco Bose Gold, forgive me, speaker amps were rebuilt. None of the speakers worked in this car, and it's very common for those to go out. Same in like the Corvettes that had the Delco Gold Bose system in the early 90s. Also rebuilt this power antenna here. What else am I missing? I feel like I'm missing something, but it's not coming to the top of my tongue right now. Anyways, let's get into the details on this side, and we'll go over that in depth to show you. And if I remember anything, I'll bring it up as I tell you. You can see here beautiful gold emblems throughout this car. And like I said before, rear bumper, the impact strip is in beautiful shape. Has the traditional Cadillac tail lights, which I believe are just a true testament to, you know, when you could tell a car from being in front of it or behind it what kind of car it was. And to have tail lights like this, you knew you were behind a Cadillac. Beautiful gold Coupe Deville emblems. Again, all part of that spring edition package. But you can see here all the paint on these filler panels. These usually you start to see spider webbing and cracking because you got your bumper down here, but if you hit something up here, this just collapses. It's never been hit, never been bumped in back here. So all the paint on these are in really nice shape. Again, beautiful red stripe throughout. Now, when I did rebuild this power antenna, the top part, the nipple here, I guess you would say, should have been black, and the original one was black, but in the rebuild kit, I get either a new black one or a new chrome one, and I decided to go with chrome because just a nice little touch. I don't know why they did black when chrome was available. And again, this roof is in absolutely beautiful condition. The molding is all beautiful, nice chrome work throughout. Again, it wraps right into that rear quarter window very nicely. I forget what they call this strip in the back. Felt strip or seating strip or something like that. Again, beautiful. All the stitching around the edges are in really nice shape. Looks like I got a little bit of water up on the roof there, but the top of this car is in real nice shape. Leading edge of the windshield, again, beautiful. I believe this is the original windshield. This is an easy cool shaded laminate windshield. I believe that is original. You can see here the last time the car was stickered in Massachusetts was in 2003. These may even be the original style wiper blades. They actually work and wipe well. I didn't want to change them because I believe they are original. And I think that's kind of cool to the car. Again, this car had 20,000 miles by 1992. So I believe that could be original. Come back down to the front here. Again, you can see the beautiful chrome on this car, the egg crate grille, the bumper lights. Very, very minor, just few little, well, I might be like overdoing it here. A few little minor chips on that. Nothing too crazy. And again, the corner light, nice, crystal clear. Cladding on the bottom, absolutely beautiful. Coming up over the fender, again, painted stripe. One thing I did notice is a little scratch or a crack. That might be a stress crack. Looks like a little smudge right there. I don't know, that's not a crack. That's like a little scratch. But this might be like a little stress crack starting underneath this eyesight here. These are composite fenders. Usually, and I remember these back in the day, usually they split right here in the middle, like from being out in the sun and you know, down in Florida. But again, this is a northern car. The paint on it's beautiful. They're not chalky. There's no signs of splitting in the usual place. You can see all the lower rockers, absolutely beautiful. The chrome trim, very, very nice. Again, beautiful spring edition wheels. You know, just minor spots here and there on the wheels and center caps. 4 new tires. Come down the doors. No dings or anything like that. I did have my paintless dent repair service come in and remedy a few little minor dings. Shows really well. And again, I'll show you when we go into the car. The quarter windows on these is kind of cool. How they covered it and kind of reduced the size. And I think this is perfect. But if this car didn't have a top, the quarter window comes back to like here. You'll see on the inside little reducer that they have there to reduce the size of the quarter window. Same with the back glass without these tops. Coming back to the back, we have real nice shape, no curb rash or anything like that. Beautiful white walls. Really a sharp car. And, you know, maybe I'll have to start getting a few more of these front-wheel drive Cadillacs in to go along with all the rear-wheel drives. But let's take a look on the inside of this car. I think you're really going to love it. That beautiful white leather with burgundy trimming. All right, now we're going to dive onto the inside of this Coupe Deville and show you this stunning white leather interior of this car. It's absolutely beautiful. You know, one of the classic combinations, like I said earlier, is triple white on any of these Cadillacs. But the thing with triple white, or the white leather, I should say, in any color exterior car, I guess it doesn't really matter, is white always shows, obviously, the dirt, but it always starts to wear the fastest. I believe, you know, it's just due to the dyeing process of when they dyed the hides to make the leather for these cars. It doesn't seem to last as long, and it starts to crack and it starts to show wear. The interior of this car, again, garaged, a northern car, so it wasn't in a dry climate. The interior is absolutely beautiful in this car. Now, one of the quick things that I've been thinking this whole time is how quick this video should be, because we got a 2-door car. I don't have nearly as much stuff to show you because it's a much smaller car than what I'm used to. But we'll see. The last video I did was like 35 minutes. I don't want to do that again. 12/23 of 92 had 20,000 miles. So you can see here that most of the mileage on this car was put on in the first few years of its life. ASC, here's the stamping for the ASC conversion or, you know, modification to the top. All the jams are in beautiful shape. No rust or corrosion. Even in here, the sill plate. A few minor stress cracks right there. I remember one back here. Again, I'm going to point some of this stuff out. I don't know if this is common stuff or not, because I don't get enough of these cars to really know. I do know they have common tendencies to split here, which this car doesn't have. And it has other common tendencies like the Bose speakers to go bad, which now this car doesn't have an issue with. But I'll get into that in just a minute. Again, door panels, all beautiful. The wood trimming, the chrome, the weather stripping, all the carpeting on the bottom, absolutely beautiful. No cracking or stress cracks on these door panel armrests, which I guess is very common. You start to see them crack here and here, and I think up here. But these ones are absolutely beautiful. The Delco Gold Bose sound system, which was probably a big deal back in 1991. But this car is equipped with that. I don't know if that was a spring edition thing. Again, let me know in the comments. But you can see here the leather and the interior is absolutely beautiful. Let me kind of pan out a little bit. You can see how nice the seats are in this car. Real soft, supple. And this has the perforation in the center section, which I believe, like I said earlier, was specific to the spring editions. I do like the burgundy inlays of the wreath, and then the Deville and the door panels, but you can just see here how nice and clean this leather is. Not beat up, not worn out at all. Dash pad is in beautiful shape. Leather wrapped steering wheel. This is kind of referred to usually as the tissue box steering wheel for obvious reasons. There is one small spot of wear right on the edge of that steering wheel, and I honestly don't know how that happened, because you can see, I mean, if you get up close, you can see the grain in this wheel. It's a very, very nice wheel. Maybe this was just one spot that was always where he held his hand, driving it like this. I have no idea. But that's kind of probably tells a little bit of the story. A little characteristic flaw, we'll say. But even the speedometer needle, you can see how the amber color on that is so vibrant. That's another common thing. You see these cars with low mileage that sit outside, those things fade. It's got the factory security system, which you can see is blinking there. So that is in functioning shape. Beautiful carpet, has a nice sheen to it. Original carpeting. I do have the original floor mats in the trunk. You come along here, you can see all the sill plating. Absolutely beautiful. I'll pop open this center armrest. And you can see here we have a flip out cup holder, which looks like it's never been used, and a coin holder as well. Pop these seats back. You can see here it's got mat pockets in the back here. Again, carpeting in the back is absolutely beautiful in this car. Super, super nice shape. Very nice piling. You can tell the carpet had never been shampooed in this car. I think I've referenced that in a few videos in the past before, how you can kind of tell when they still have that real nice fluff factor. And back here, beautiful white leather again, nice and soft and supple, no dryness. Has the rear ashtrays with cigarette lighters. I'm not going to climb into the back seat of this car. Obviously, it's tight quarters, and I don't know how I'd do filming it. But you can see it's got the rear courtesy lights there. Absolutely gorgeous. Headlining. You can see where they put like a filler panel over that rear window, how big that rear quarter window would be if it didn't have this top on it, which I think is kind of neat. It's like a little window reducer you see on some of the aftermarket E&G tops. Now we're going to close this door, and I'll show you just how solid she is when she closes. Still has that big car feel when you go ahead and close the door. Now let's run around to the passenger side and take a look in there. Now coming around to the passenger side, we'll open up that big two-door coupe. I absolutely love, you don't get two-door cars like this anymore. And I know this is a downsized Cadillac, but just take a look how big and wide that door opens. Now I remember my grandmother as a kid, I'd ride in her 1990 Caprice Classic LS Brougham that she had. And that car was a gorgeous car, but that's for another day, another story. I remember she would always park far away because she would always say, those people with those two-door cars with those big, heavy doors are going to ding up my car. And, you'd say, like, how can you ding up a car door? Like, you know, what's the difference? As a kid, you didn't really realize it, but like, look at how big that door hangs off the edge of this car. It's absolutely insane. Taking a look inside the gym here, you can see nice and clean throughout. Like always, the threshold is real clean over here. I don't see any, you know, little splits or cracks on this side. I believe that's just the way it's formed into the plastic there. Take a look at the door panel. Again, real clean, beautiful white leather. I love the Deville stitching in that burgundy to match the lower carpeting. And just like the driver's side, absolutely no splits or cracks on these door panel armrests. These are kind of like the brougham ones. They're basically a formed foam slash, you know, whatever flexible material that over time, you know, you put your elbow on in the wrong spot, will crack it right open. The Delco Gold Bose speakers. Now, one thing I didn't know before, but realized after, it's just like the bromes with the speaker pods on the doors. Essentially what they did was they blocked off these. So if you look in there, it's just a block off plate. There's not even a speaker grill there. So they added the speakers to the doors and took them away from the dashboard, which I think if they put speakers in the dashboard and the doors, you'd have them even a better sound system because you'd have more than just 4 speakers. You know, cars today have so many speakers. But a beautiful dash. All the ornamentation inside here is gold as well. Beautiful burgundy. There's no damage or warpage to the glove box door. I like how it's got the little cup holder cutouts. I don't know what that signifies. It's got a nice little lamp, little trunk button there as well. And again, the dash in this car is in real nice shape. Carpeting, absolutely beautiful. All the piling is really nice. It has the original litter bin as well as this little tag that's just hanging out here. Don't know what it's for. I've tugged on it, but it's attached to something. So I'm going to leave it right there because it just, again, shows the testament of this car of how, you know, untouched it kind of is, even though it's 30,000 miles on it. Beautiful white leather, and again, nice and soft, no micro splitting. White leather is real tough because, like I said earlier, it wears a lot harder or easier, quicker than the other colors. And with the white leather, I mean, it looks good in pictures, but when you really get up to it, you got to really focus in there and see. And this car shows absolutely no micro cracking in the leather, even on the, you know, heavy use area, the side bolsters here. Again, the burgundy Cadillac wreaths, the perforated leather centers, center console armrest. Again, real nice. Upper, what am I talking about? Headliner here. I believe the headliner in this car is original. It's not coming down. It's not sagging. It's in, you know, really nice original condition on this car. Slight discoloration in a few spots, I think just from age, but overall really nice. The A-pillars are fabric covered, and there's a few minor impressions there, and I believe on this one as well, but overall real nice in this car. I don't know what the heck they were doing back there. I don't know why. Let me fold this seat. This is one of the reasons I hate doing two-door cars. It's kind of awkward to get in the back seat area. But you have all the white back there. Then you just have like the lower section in burgundy. I don't know. It kind of looks a little strange, but I am assuming that's how these cars came. You see the back seats here. Leather is in real nice shape. Again, nice and soft, nice and plush. Honestly, I bet this back seat has been very gently used, if at all used. Ashtrays are nice and clean, cigarette lighters. It does have seating for 3 back here. And it's actually quite a spacious back seat. I believe these seats are all the way back, and you can see how much legroom is back here, along with how beautiful the carpeting is. And even the felting on the back of the seats, these white leather seats. Now let me scoot over here. We'll let this come back. This is almost like a fur. Not like the carpet, a very fine fur. And when this gets wet and dirty and gross, you know, it looks it, but you can see how nice it is on this car. Again, tells me that not very many people sat in the back of this Coupe Deville. I'm going to show you a little bit more in detail. We'll jump in the front seat there. I'll start it up and we'll get in the trunk and under the hood. And we'll wrap the video up just after that. All right, behind the wheel of the Spring Coupe, and I want to show you what I got for paperwork and keys, like I always do. And over here you can see I have the original Cadillac Gold Key delivery cassette. I also have this neat little bag here with the spare door key, it looks like, the key punch-outs, and then also the remote transmitter operating instructions, Duracell batteries included. Probably a really old and dried up and useless bottle of GM touch-up paint, the original Michelin tire brochure, and then we even have the original owner's manual and leather case. As for keys, I have one set of keys. Like I said, I do have a second door key there, but one of these sets of keys with the Cadillac remote that does work. So we're going to stick that square key in. And we're going to start this one up. I love the chime that these cars have. Really, it's kind of like that old school Cadillac chime that, you know you're in an old Cadillac when you hear that. But going back to what I said earlier about the Delco Bose system and it being a problem, one of the issues that I had to deal with this car was the Delco Gold Bose speakers. And one of the common things that go bad with these cars is the speaker amps. They had issues when they were new, and I do know that, even though I'm a rear-wheel drive guy. So I took all 4 speakers, I rebuilt the power antenna, and we got poor radio reception inside here. But I did rebuild, or have rebuilt, all 4 Bose Gold, Delco Gold Bose speakers, you know, in order to get those working, because they weren't working, and it's a very, very common issue with these cars. And you can see here, it's got the Twilight Sentinel. I have the lights pulled out, but you flip this little switch over, you get the Twilight Sentinel. One of the weird things that I don't really understand why they would do this is you can see here it's got a window lockout. That's essentially to lock that passenger window. I mean, if you got somebody sitting right next to you that's fiddling with the window, you just give them a backhand. I don't understand why you'd want to lock the window, but essentially that's what that is. I do love the grip of this steering wheel. You know, it has these 2 enlarged spots that you can really, it's got nice deep finger pockets in there, or whatever you call those. You can really get a nice grip on these steering wheels. That's one thing I do like about this generation Cadillac and these tissue box steering wheels. Let's take a look under the hood. And I remember when I went and looked at this car, this tripped me up, because on the Fleetwoods, I'm used to grabbing under here to open the hood on like the 93 to 96 Fleetwoods. But on these cars, the hood release, or the secondary latch release, is kind of hidden there. Here it is the mighty 4.9 V8. Let me let that refocus a minute. And these 4.9s are really nice torquey engines. Front wheel drive, obviously, but a 4.9 liter V8. You can see all, how clean the underhood compartment is on this car. All the accessories and bottles and hoses are in really nice shape. Now, when I got this car in, I did do quite a bit of service to the car. Front pads, rotors, 4 tires. We replaced the alternator. I had to do a fuel pump, sending unit, and gas tank. You probably saw that video over the summer when I got this car in. New battery, replaced 2 transmission lines that were leaking. But it also had a pretty catastrophic leak from the oil pan gasket and transmission pan gasket as well. So we dropped the oil pan out of this car, did an oil pan and gasket, and then did the transmission pan gasket. So this car, I can officially say, does not leak any fluids. at this current time. You know, old cars are very temperamental, but this car is now nice and dry underneath. And this car was leaking quite a bit when I got the car in, both transmission fluid and oil when it came in. Coming around to the back of the car and getting into the trunk here, you know, one of the things that's kind of neat with this car is it's got a factory, you can zoom in here, keyless entry, a remote system. So lock and unlock and then a trunk popper. And that all works. What the crazy part is this was 1991. So 91, they had these. I don't know if they had these in the earliest, you know, DeVille's. I'm not sure when they introduced this system. But 91 and 92 Cadillac Bromes didn't have this. Why wouldn't you say, oh, well, we can put it in the DeVille. Let's not put it in the Brougham. As far as I know, the Bromes never came with a keyless entry system until 93, when you got that big fob with the 4 buttons. Would do the lock, unlock, and then also the interior lights and trunk. Now, inside the trunk here, I mean, this trunk is as neat and tidy as a 30,000 mile car should be. No staining, no nothing. Before I get into showing you the mat, I do have all 4 original floor mats. I even have the front license plate bracket. Now, this was on the car, so I put the hardware back in, but I like the look of it without the bracket. In some states, I know you can run without a front plate, so if that's the case, great. Otherwise, it's very easy to reinstall this bracket. Now, the bracket, when I took it off, had these 2 bolts in the bottom here. There's also 2 screws that probably screw into the front fascia. The bumper goes right through the plastic, and those weren't screwed in. So I think this bracket was added afterwards. Now, I remember in Massachusetts back in the late 80s and maybe even the 70s, through the 80s, into the very early 90s, you only needed 1 plate. So that might have been the case that this car had 1 plate for a while and then maybe was registered and got 2 plates and needed it. But all the trunk weather stripping is in beautiful shape. No splits at all. I mean, just real nice. All the plastic trimming has the power pull down unit as well. Inside the trunk is absolutely flawless. Inside the lid, no rust or corrosion. Underneath the mats, you have the original trunk like mat protector, and then underneath here, I don't want to ruffle everything up too bad. Well, I guess I'm gonna anyways. You have your spare tire, and then there's your option tag. I'm sure one of those options is probably for the Spring Edition. You have a mini saver spare down there, but even all this back here, nice and dry. It's never been wet back here. It's not musty and moldy. We'll flip these guys down. All right, I did all right. We'll close this trunk. Show you that power soft close mechanism. It works absolutely perfectly. I know I wanted to have a short video here, and I honestly don't know how long I rambled on about this car. I thought it was going to be shorter because it was only a 2-door car. But I probably guessed at a lot of things and rambled on about things I didn't really know about. So definitely let me know down in the comments if I missed something. If you know something I don't know about this car that I should be telling you about the Spring Edition or about these Coupe Devilles just in general. I totally appreciate everybody for watching the video on this 91 Cadillac. Everybody wants to know, like always, the price on the car. Price on this Cadillac Coupe Deville is going to be $13,995. My name is Anthony. I appreciate everybody for tuning in and watching. If you're new to the channel, Anthony here at Specialty Motor Cars in Pelham, New Hampshire. Papa Bear and I, we love finding these cars and picking them up, going through them and bringing them back to their former glory and rehoming them. Check me out on Instagram if you'd like to get sneak peeks of what's coming up, Specialty Motor Cars NH. Then you can also find me on Facebook. I do a lot of sneak peeks and updates by my day-to-day there, and I reserve the videos for when these cars are for sale, really for YouTube here. 978-930-1004. If you have any questions, you can give me a call. And like I always say, don't let distance stop you from getting a dream car like this in your driveway, because I can arrange all the logistics and get it delivered right to your front door. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll talk to you on the next one.